Good morning, everybody. This is Eileen with Jane Nicole Designs. Welcome to my 10 o'clock Wednesday live. I will wait for just a few minutes and wait for you all to join me. I'm super excited today about what we're going to be doing. This is our project, and I am actually kind of branching out a little bit into stuff that I have not done before. So go ahead and pop online, tell me where you are watching from, and let me know how your weather is and kind of how you're doing today. It's been one of those, I know it's been a winter for us that was not expected as far as we moved over here about 2020 October, and we'd heard things about the area in the Panhandle of Idaho, and we thought, well, you know, we'll see how it goes. And our first summer, you know, the ending of it was beautiful. Our winter was absolutely wonderful, and then we came around to this this last summer, and it was super hot over here, which is unusual for this area. And then went into the fall and the winter, and for us it is very different from Washington up by the Canadian border. It was one of those where it would snow, and sometimes it was really, you know, not so great, but a week or two later it would you know, get nice and warm up. And right now what we have on the ground in snow is by far the longest I've ever seen it in my entire life. So we have about 4 inches that are on, 3-4 inches that are on the snow. I'm looking outside, and it has not left since before Christmas. And I am not used to that kind of weather. I'm one of those where it snows and then it warms up and it goes away and driving's fine. You know, you wear a jacket for a few months, which is, you know, totally normal. I'm used to that. But being able to endure, I guess that's going to be my word for the next couple months, to endure the cold temperatures. We were just talking at the breakfast table this morning, my husband and daughter, and it was like, how long is this going to last? And you know, how that we are not used to being able to have snow on the ground for this long. And although it is beautiful, right now it is overcast. I don't know if you can see it in the back out there. There's the snow. You can see all that white. And you see that, like, that haze of I think it might snow today. It's actually more predicted tomorrow, but it is not predicted to get up above like 40 for the next week or two. So yeah, send a little prayer for me just to keep the winter, I wouldn't say blues, but just that kind of like, is it over yet? That enduring spirit of just saying, okay, we can get through this. And the best part of getting through this is hanging out with you all and crafting. And so I so look forward to Wednesdays at 10 just to be able to feed my crafting hunger of, you know, the journey that I'm on of starting new things, going into new mediums of painting and all sorts of stuff. Previously, I'm more of a paper girl, doing scrapbooking and cards and things like that. And my mom is a beautiful florist, and so kind of picking up some of that stuff. And my dad is actually a wonderful and just crafty, artistic woodworker. So hoping that some of that's going to rub off on me today. We're going to be working with some wood. I'm not going to be cutting anything, but just being able to work with a medium that I'm not always familiar with. More of paper than I would say actually the wood. But anyway, it's just been a great journey to be able to start some new things of what's going on. And today I'm going to take you on a journey. We are going to make, this is a piece of wood that I got at, you can see the sticker, I got it at the Goodwill. And I think it's more of like a trivet that you could put just like on, you know, something that spins, things like that. I could see it as a charcuterie board. I love charcuterie. But today I'm actually going to make a welcome sign out of it. So I have a few things that we're going to be using, and I'll kind of give you a little updates of what I've learned and the trials and errors of using the products we're going to use today. But let me give you a sneak peek, and I apologize that it's backwards. Again, crafter's nightmare to flip it, but this is called Troch Paste, and we are going to be burning welcome into the middle of this piece of wood. So that's one thing. So go ahead and I will put links after in the description what we're up to, just so that you guys can go along with what I'm doing. And maybe you want to make this project, and I will make sure that you get the supplies, or at least show you where I got them. This right here, this is Rust-Oleum. This is a blue color you see at the bottom there. It is a stain, a wood stain, so we're going to be using that. And I showed you that one first because I've already used this one. This one is ebony, it's black. So I've already had a little oopsies on making sure it stays in the can and whatnot. So anyway, we're going to be using that. And then for anything that we're going to, after we put the sign on, excuse me, and do all what we're going to do with the piece of wood, we're going to decorate it. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek. We're either going to use some eucalyptus, or these are olive branches. So in the comments there, what do you think? And as you're watching me put this together, what do you think will be the best to be able to finish off this project? Should we use the eucalyptus, or should we use the olive branches? So we'll figure that out. And we're gonna go on the boho. We're still doing the boho theme, but we're gonna do the farmhouse boho where it's wood, and then the black, and this is actually black and cream. So we're gonna be using and making a bow there. So let's get started. All right, come along with me. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure that where I'm going to be putting my stain, I want it to be where it's going to be. So I did take a piece of tape. This is just this is 3M, but you can use the frog. You can use any type of painter's tape, and go ahead and just mark off where from the top up that you want your stain to go, because I'm going to leave the middle natural, and then I'm going to paint on each side with the stain. So let's get started. I'm going to just put where I want this to go. I kind of already, for time's sake, let me get this straight here. I marked off a little bit where I would like it to go, because I want to make sure that it goes on pretty straight. We don't want our project to look too crooked, but I just want to make sure that it goes right on the line. And go ahead and push it down, because there is a little bit of like a rivet that goes through. So like I said, let me know where you're watching from, and tell me good morning. I know it's super fun to be able to look at a new project, and we kind of get engrossed in the process of watching what's going on. I sure would love, though, to have a conversation with you. Okay, so for right now, that's where I'm going to have my stain go up to. So it's going to go from here up, and then from here up. And I want to make sure, like I said, that it's pretty straight, and I want to push it down so that the stain, which is very liquid, will not bleed too much. I'm still in the practice of getting this right, so I may end up running a little, like a little piece of, hi Mackenzie, it's good to see you watching, and oh, good morning, my mom and dad are on, awesome, good to see you guys. What I want to do is maybe later on I might put a strip of vinyl on there, just if it bleeds a little bit, but we're gonna try this and see what happens. So I don't know if you guys have these are a woman's a hammer, and I got this at a craft store, and I just needed something in the middle here if I was pounding something or whatever. But then I opened and figured out that it is a multi-purpose tool. And so I ended up going, oh, well, so now I don't have to run to my husband's toolbox while I'm crafting. This is a Phillips NA standard, so we get to use that in the middle of this. So what we're gonna do first, I'm going to shake it up, just make sure that the sediment from the bottom comes back up to the top. We wanna make sure that it is even. And I'm gonna start off today, let's get this so you can see it a little bit. It is kind of a big project, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to see all my products all the time, but we will do our best. So this is the aqua color, and I'm gonna actually start it at the top here. And all you wanna do is just take a little bit on your foam brush and just roll back and forth. And I'm gonna go almost right up to the line. It's okay if you go over, but I just wanna make sure that I don't want it to go soak in too much right by that line, although the tape is right there. I just want to make sure that it doesn't bleed too much. And I love these Rust-Oleum products because look at how true that color is. Isn't it neat? I love that we don't have to paint. Last week we did a lot of painting with, you know, just regular chalk paint, and I just wanted to try something new in the world of crafting, and just being able to get all different types of mediums and things like that. So definitely, oh, it looks like the garbage guy is here, and our dog is saying hello. So you can say hi to Dusty. He is our 120 some pound German Shepherd. So, and it looks like, yep, my husband's running out to meet the garbage guy. That is okay. All right, so I'm just going ahead and just taking little strokes. I like to go the same way, so I'm going back and forth, and this is going to be something to hang on our door, so, or a door I should say, and so I want to make it so that you can see a little. If you were to look on the side there, I could flip it over, and I may do that later, and make sure that if you're looking, you know, completely off to the side, all of the wood on the bottom there is stained. But for time purposes, I am going to just do the top here where you can see it. This is a project that I don't mind if you see a little bit of the imperfections as far as the amount of stain that is on it. Some projects you want it to be completely just all one, you know, one color flat, but I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of a texture. See how that is? There's different colors of that blue that is showing through, and I'm okay with that. So that is our first color. Let's make sure I get this. Today I'm going rogue, and I'm not wearing a apron, so we'll see how this goes. It could be disastrous. If not, today I'm a little more daring. So let's go for the second color. In the second color, I'm going to use the ebony, and I have shaken this up. I will give you a quick, super quick little picture of it there. It is, good morning, Christine. It's great to see you're watching. This is from Rust-Oleum. It is ebony, and I got it at Walmart. I got the aqua color at Walmart as well. And I think that being able to color in different ways of your project just gives it that one more dimension. When I do projects, I always start from the bottom up and making sure that I build on each other. So when you're thinking of doing a project like this, do the same thing. You're going to start from the bottom up, or like in this case, it's the inside out. So this is the black, and I'm just going to go back and forth. You can tap this one because this piece of wood is quite porous. And if I wanted to, I could have sealed it. But I'm just gonna see what happens with this wood, and I will show you as it starts to dry. You actually start to see a little bit of the wood come through, and I really like that texture to happen. So for this project, I'm not gonna be so concerned about making sure it is opaque as far as not being able to see over all the different textures in the wood. I really actually would like to show some of it and let it come through. So you see, it's actually going on super, super quick and easy. I love that about a project, being able to make sure that it's not too long and tedious. I know I told you last time, I'm a McDonald's person. I want it as quick as I can. But, I don't like to wait around too much to let things dry and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the things too that I picked paper medium, because it's pretty quick and easy. So some of these longer projects, although they are super fun, they do try my McDonald's mentality. But anyway, okay. So we're just kind of, this looks like it only needs one coat. So I'm just gonna do one coat on this. And to be able to make things go a little bit quicker, I will shoot it with a hair dryer, because I do want to be able to do the next step. We may have to wait a few minutes in between, but let's put this in a spot where we can. And I did find that these brushes, you can actually, you know, if they don't dry up too much, you can rewash these and use them for other projects. So that's the nice part about it as well. I love this Rust-Oleum. Okay, let's make sure that this doesn't become a problem, and we're gonna make sure that it is all sealed. And the big thing I love in my craft area is baby wipes. I use them all the time because they're such good cleanup. And my kids are out. One's out of the house and one is 19, so I don't really use them for diapering or anything like that. It's more of just cleaning up and making sure that, I use them in my car, all sorts of stuff. So it is actually a good thing. Okay, so I'm gonna just show you here. It's already starting to dry. Look at the blue on there. You can see just right here in the corners there's a little bit of it looks like it's pretty wet. So I am actually gonna take this and, excuse the noise, but I'm gonna hit it with a hair dryer. I should do it for a few more minutes, but you know what? At this point, I'm like, woohoo, I'm ready. I just want to keep this project going, right? Okay, so now it is it's a little tacky, but like it's totally fine as far as that goes. So I'm going to take off the painter's tape, and we're just gonna pull this off because I want to make sure. Oh, look at, see how that worked? Wonderful. I am super pleased about that. Look at how nice that line came. So, all right, I will be using the 3M painter's tape again. Definitely again. All right, so let's move that off to the side. And this is a project you have to keep your hands pretty well clean at all times. We don't want to have blue or black in the middle of this beautiful pine color. So I will be doing that quite a bit until we make sure that it is okay. All right, so, and look at this. Wow, that looks great. So here we go. This is our base. And when I was thinking of this project, I thought, oh, it would be really cool this way. And I thought, no, I think I want it this way. What do you think? Should we do blue on top? Or should we do the blue on the bottom? You let me know. I'm gonna hang out for a second and just see what happens. Absolutely, we'll see. Okay, so now I'm just gonna hang out for a second because I'm still deciding as well. I think probably because, do we want the greenery on the top here? Do we want it here? Ooh. What do you think? I think it's gonna go right there on the top. And it looks like a little tiny, there we go. Had a little bit of that dark on there. So I think it just took our fate. That's exactly where we're gonna put the greenery. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, I chose to put welcome on this sign. And ahead of time, I took the my Cricut, and you can use stencils. You're welcome. There's Michael's, Hobby Lobby has a ton of them that you can put any saying or thing that you would like on this. So what I did is I'm going to show you here. This is stencil paper that has an adhesive on it. And it does have a grid on it, which was really nice. This one is from Oracle, and it's stencil film, and it's 813. So 813 is the stencil for Oracle. So if you want to get that, I believe I got this at Swing Design. You can, you know, I would go on, you know, just go on DuckDuckGo or Google and just put in stencil film and then do 813, and this will come up. And I have been using this for about 6 months, and you know, it's lasted me for a long time. What I love about this is that when you use it, it's not too sticky, and it's not sticky enough. It's a really good medium of how to be able to do that. So we are going to set this off to the side for just a second, and I'm going to show you what I did. This is what I put on my Cricuts, and like I said, sorry it's backwards, but I took and put 11 by, I think this was by 3 or 2.5, and I typed in welcome, and I just used a big fat font, and then I said to do outdoor vinyl, but then I went in my Cricut and I put in stencil, and actually had stencil as a medium to cut. So it totally turned out great. I didn't take the welcome out yet because I just wanted to show you what it looks like. This is how a stencil, you can cut it. And then, excuse me, the next thing that you're gonna do is just go ahead and you're gonna take and peel out what you want to be able to stencil in. So I'm just gonna start ripping these out. Let's put these off to the side here. I'm having my little pile here of fun stuff. But go ahead, let's get this right here, and you can take out the welcome pretty easily, and you can use your Cricut tools. I'm actually just using my finger because these are really big letters that we're using, so make sure that you keep the middle of the O in welcome because we are going to be using that. And make sure that each individual letter comes out the way you would like. So see how that M came up? Make sure that stays down. There we go. Okay, so this is what our stencil is going to be. So I'm going to take this here. We're going to bring back our project, and this right here is going to be the bottom. I decided that we're going to put the black on there, and I'm going to try and do this upside down. We'll see how this goes. We're going to do our best. All right, so the second thing I'm going to do is this is just duck counterlining paper, and I want to be able to position it right on top of my my stencil, because I want my stencil to go down exactly where I put it. So let's make sure that it's positioned in a correct way. So I'm going to put this under here. This is just my 12 by 12 cutter. I've told you about it before. I have a love with this thing. I've had it for, goodness, probably 10 or 15 years. It's been to many scrapbook crops, and I used to teach card making classes and stuff like that. But Fiskars makes it. It's a 12 by 12. It has a swing out arm, so you can do more than 5 inches. This is my buddy. I like this guy. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to take on our Cricut mat here, and I want to make sure I have this little squeegee, and this helps me just kind of smooth things out, make sure that everything gets pushed down so that we don't have too many wrinkles. And then we're going to put this right on the top. So that's going to help us position on our board exactly where we want it. And I am making sure, see how it's a little forgiving, we can pick it up. And what it does is it also keeps that O in that spot, because sometimes when we take the middle of letters out and things like that, it kind of makes it not in the right spot when you put it back down. And I want to make sure that that O is exactly in the right spot. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of it backwards. Okay, so that's what it's going to say. It's going to say welcome. And then this right here, you can just set off to the side. We're done with that piece of adhesive. So now I get to figure out, and because I did a super good job with the tape, I am just going to make sure that I have this positioned as straight as I can. And here's my handy dandy ruler. I want to make sure, let's see, I have about this much from that side. Ooh, okay, I do need to move it over a tiny bit. Pick that up. And then I'm going to look here. It's a little more, about an inch. I want it up higher here, so it is 1.5 inches. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to start from the middle. I'm going to push down and pull down to the end here. I want to make sure that I don't have any bubbles. And I want to make sure that it goes down. And I'm gonna be, when we're going and we're working towards burning this into the piece of wood, and I want to make sure that where it is exactly where I want it to be. Okay. All right. Let's make sure I still got some my there we go. I still got some of my paint going on here. There we go. Okay. All right, so I'm ready. I pushed it down. I made sure that the stencil is where I want it to be. And now just take your piece of transfer that you have here, and you're just gonna pull it back at a 45. Make sure that those little pieces stay down. Because it's wood, it's not gonna stay absolutely completely down, and so we will have to take our squeegee again and push down on some of the parts. But for the most part, this is a great way of how to transfer a stencil onto a project. and make sure you get it where you want. For time's sake, I'm just gonna get rid of that because otherwise I'd keep it and all that fun stuff. But for time's sake, we're just gonna do it like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my squeegee here. See how that's on there? There's a little little bubble right there. I want to make sure that that is gone, because the next step that we're going to use to be able to put our welcome on, this needs to be completely down. So I'm going to actually pull this corner up. It looks like right there's a little bit of a, there we go. I just want to make sure that everything goes down and that I don't have gaps in between my letters. So we're going to push this down. Make sure each of these little pieces here are all the way down. Okay, and for me, time-wise, I'm going to actually put on the side here a little bit of tape, because I want to make sure that when I put the torch paste on, that it doesn't go off and get on my project. Anytime the paste goes on wood, it will stain that right where it's at. So we want to make sure that we are a little clean and be able to do that. The other thing is my stencil is not going to move. Okay. All right. So this is what it looks like. Now for the fun. This is exciting. This is what I'm going to be using. It's called Troch Paste. That's the top logo. So you can go on, I think it's called torchpaste.com, and you can get one of these. I have used the pens. These are the pens, although they are, you can write and go wherever you want. I do like this because it is a gel. It is colored in a way that you can see where you're going. So I do prefer this, but like I said, there's tons of different of mediums to be able. I think I got like 3 or 4 of them, and this actually, the Troch Paste is where I landed, because I think it's an easier way for me to put this on. So there's when you get Troch Paste, you can order these. These are little squeegees, and then this is a little paddle so that you can pick it out of here. And all you do is just take a little bit and put it down where you want it to go, and start squeegeeing. And for me, I was like, wow, this, I wish you were here. This is really cool. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start from the bottom. And I use this little, the wedge side, and just go ahead and drag it. And do you see where you don't need a ton of it? And you just drag it back and forth. And let me do this other line here, and I will show you what it looks like. Let's get that back up there. Okay, so do you see the little pieces that I have? And then that right there, that is just all it is. So where you look and see your project, that little orange, because it is colored, it will help you and show you where you need to go. So if I were to, you know, put too much on, you can actually scrape it off and just put it back in there in the jar. You're welcome to do that. You can just right back in there if you want. I try and use less is best. And this does dry, so just you want to make sure that it doesn't, you know, you don't leave it out or leave the lid undone. But like I said, it just nicely goes on your wood. And the cool thing is it doesn't drip anywhere. The other pens and things like that are quite liquidy, and so I'm one of those, I'd rather, you know, make sure that it sticks and stays. And I believe this was like $9 or $14 for this little system, and I have used it quite a bit. I did, if you look on the Facebook page, I was doing a shower, and I burned a gift sign and welcome, watch me grow on these little plants, and we were making succulents and things like that, and I thought, ooh, I haven't used this for a while, and I, wanted to make sure that I knew what I was doing for this project this week, and so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try and use that medium again. So, okay, so this is what it looks like. That's it, that simple. And if I wanted to, there's a little bit of pieces off on the side. I can just take it, scrape it back into my jar, just like that. And that's, I say, Troch Paste, super, super cool. So torchpaste.com, there's videos on YouTube, shows you exactly how to do it. That's why I'm one of those. I will show you how easy it is. We're just gonna take the tape off. There we go. And now we're just gonna peel up the stencil. This is not a stencil that you're gonna be using again. Don't worry about it, it is okay. That is just the nature of this stuff. The stencils you're not gonna be using again. Okay, so this is what it looks like. How cool is that? All right, this is our magic tool. I'm using it, this is an embossing tool. I used it like, oh, good morning, Renee, it's good to see you watching. I used this like 20 years ago when I was using it for embossing. So we're gonna let it heat up for a second. And it's a little loud, but I'm just gonna start showing you what's going on here. It takes a few minutes, so we're gonna have to, chat a little bit. But what it is doing, it's heating up the wood, and then see how it's starting to turn? The wood is going to, where that torch paste is, it's gonna burn it. See how it's starting to go? Isn't that cool? Now it's gonna take a few minutes, so, but I can control how dark this is gonna go. If I wanted to, I could make it just almost like a leopard print, where I'm gonna take different spots. And see how that is, where if I wanted to do it that way, I could, the sky's the limit as far as how well you want to torch and be able to have the medium burn burn the wood. So and it looks like I'm going to take a little piece. I'm going to take a little bit of the torch paste right there. Oh, see, there it goes. So I've also seen this. Hey Cindy, it's good to see ya. I've also seen the big, huge heat guns that you would use for like adhesive removal and like carpentry and things like that. Unfortunately, my craft room, the electricity is, it's not as well as I would hope, and so I was going to use that big, huge heat gun, but the wattage would actually turn everything off in here, so that is why I'm not using the big, huge, the big, huge one, but there we go. But see how it warms up, it starts to go, and it's one of those projects where it may take you probably, I would say, a good 5 to 10 minutes to be able to make sure that all the variants of black, if you want it completely black, or if you want to do more of kind of like the cowboy, you know, wrought iron burn look, where, you know, the outsides are completely dark and the insides are not as much. It just all depends on what you want to do. So, say comment, give me a comment there if you have done this before. Tell me if you have used torch paste or any type of burner. I know that you can use, you know, the tool that has all the different letters that you can burn into wood and things like that. Let's see, but for time's sake, I will just kind of move a little bit quicker than what I would normally on this project. It would be one of those where I would go and make sure that every little corner, I'm one of those where I'd rather have it all, you know, that dark black color. But I just wanted to give you a good idea of this is how it works. And so how many are going to run out to go to Lowe's to get your trivet? Or you could go, I mean, I found this at the Goodwill for $5, so I was pretty lucky, but I know you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's, and they have these here for, I think it's like $8 or $10 that you can get them. But think about the possibilities as far as you can use any type of wood. I used a little bit of a little round piece of pine. I've used just regular pine wood that I had a project that I had a piece that was a scrap. So think about, you know, what the possibilities are of being able to do your own sign. I know right now the Yellowstone is super, the TV show is very popular right now, so kind of doing some of that idea of the Western look, or you know, kind of the cowboy outdoorsy. I think that it would be super fun to do that. Oh, you have, Cindy, I didn't know you. Oh, that's right. So Cindy is watching, and she is a 4-H mom. And I would say yes, the branding, that is definitely something that I have not done. But wouldn't that be cool if you could take your 4-H logo and, or, you know, the brand that you have, do the same thing in the torch paste? And wouldn't that be fun to be able to do your names and things like that at the fair next, you know, in the summertime? I think that would be really cool to be able to put a Western theme and using this torch paste and being able to use that for signs. That'd be an awesome idea. So, okay, so we could be doing this for the next 10 minutes, but like I said, we are just gonna kind of, I'm gonna give you the shortened version, and then after we are done with this, I will shoot it with this for a while. like I said, after my live's done, I will finish out the project and make this all one dark, beautiful welcome. But for time's sake, instead of having you just stare at me doing that, I will stop doing that part, but I will go back to it. So the next thing that we're gonna do, and like I said, pretend that this is all beautifully a welcome there. We were deciding at the beginning of this video what we're gonna use to decorate the top. And so this is what I had chose. We could either use eucalyptus to be able to put at the top here, or you can let me know if you would like to do the olives. So let me know what you're thinking. If you think I should use the olive branches, they're a little less fluffy. So should I use the olive branches, or should I go for the big fluffy eucalyptus? Let me know. Okay, so in the meanwhile that you're deciding what would be the best, I am gonna show you how I make a bow for this. And this is what we're gonna be using. This is wire ribbon. It is, I actually had this on my Christmas tree this year, and you know, I never want to throw anything away, or you know, I'm always reusing things. So I took it off my tree, put it in my craft stuff, thinking, okay, yep. So my very first project after taking on the Christmas tree was using this. So this is a wire ribbon, and I love using a wired ribbon because it's a little bit more moldable. You can be able to just put it exactly where you want. So this bow I'm going to show you is super easy. I'm not a florist. My mom taught me how to do florist bows, but for time's sake and just to be able to figure out how to do this, this is my, instead of holding onto a bow and trying to this and that, this is a great way to do a simple bow with loops on it, and you don't have to worry about all that twisting and putting where you need to. So this is kind of a double, it's not super double-sided, but we're gonna be using it just in a way that you don't have to worry about that. So I'm gonna take, we're gonna start off with about a 4-inch bow, and then we're gonna work out from there. So I wanna go about 4 inches out, and I'm gonna fold it at 4 inches. So it just looks like a loop like that. And then I want a little bit of a space in between, and then I'm gonna fold it over so that I have another, I'm gonna, about another 4 inches. And so that's what it looks like. So I have a loop, I folded it over, and then now I have it in the middle. So this should be around about 4, and that should be about 4. So we're gonna take it and scrunch it like that. All right? So now that I have this, this is my base, I'm gonna keep rolling, and this is gonna be my loops. And I'm just gonna roll out my ribbon and just keep going. And depending on how many loops you would like is how many folds that you're going to make. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I would like 5 or 6. So I'm gonna keep going. I want this to be a pretty fluffy bow. It needs to make a statement. So, okay, there we go. And now my last bow, just to make sure that it's gonna all stick together and a bow's not gonna fall out, I'm gonna wrap it over the top, and I'm gonna make sure that it goes over the middle so that I can catch it when I put my wire on it. So I'm gonna go ahead, see how it is longer than the middle if I were to put it right there. And then I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna weave it back and forth and scrunch it up. Just like that. How easy is that? That's just rolling on top of each other. And if you want to watch the live again and be able to, excuse me, I'm getting my clippers here, then go ahead and rewatch the video and over again. That's how I do a lot of, when I start watching people with their projects, I just watch the replay and then I go back over and do it several times until I get what they're doing. So I'm kind of a slow learner in that way. I like to be visually and see, and then, like I said, keep practicing. So I'm just going to twist it. It'll be a little thick because this is a pretty hefty ribbon. So there we go. That's what we're going to do. And see how this is that little piece there. It's just going to be tucked in the back. So now I'm going to take and pull out each loop. There they are. They're hiding, but they're there. And we are going to make sure each side there, all of our loops are out. And then we're going to start fluffing. And I just pull it up with the middle of my hand, deciding where you want it. You could just scrunch it if you want to. And these are pretty big loops, which I'm all right with. I want it to be a big fluffy bow that's going to be on the top. I didn't put tails on it because I want to be able to see the welcome. So we're going to make sure that we can see all what we made. We don't want to cover it up. So if you want to, you can pull them forward. You can pull it back. It's just up to you. Go ahead and start playing around with it and see what you would like to do. But how easy is that? I didn't have to worry about the sizing of my loops. I just rolled it on top of each other, and to be able to have a bow, how beautiful is that? So try that this week. See if you can go ahead and just roll it on top of each other, keep rolling, and then start scrunching. So there is our bow. So let me look and see. Let's see, maybe I'm going to, it looks like I'm going to do some fluffy, because the bow is so fluffy. I'm actually, well, let's see. Let's look. What would be better? I'm looking at the camera here. I think I actually like the olive branches. I think that looks really pretty to be able to put that in the mix here. Okay, so I have my bow. I want to make sure that it's where I want it to be, because I'm going to put down my pieces of my olive branch first, and then I will set my bow on the top. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and take off. Let me find my clippers. Where did they go? Yep, they're always on. Everything is always under something. That's always looking that way. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to put it up just a little bit. And these are so cool. These little olive branches, they swing around, so I can move each of these leaves exactly where I want. I really like these. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and I believe it was about a year ago in their seasonal section. So I'm sure you should be able to find something that's similar. But I think the olive branches are beautiful. They give you kind of that homey, you know, one more layer of texture. Okay, so that's where we're gonna put it. And to let everyone know, this is my favorite. Second to my Fiskars cutter, this is my favorite glue gun. It is from Gorilla. It has a tiny little edge there. It's super nice to be able to get into little spots. It is a dual temperature right here, so I have it on the low. That means that it would be floral, things like that. So make sure that when you pick a glue gun that it is to your liking. I like power and glue all the time. I don't want it to be too heavy. So go ahead, and those are things that when you are trying, hey, good morning, Renee, it's good to see ya. When you're picking a glue gun, make sure it works for you, because some of the glue guns I've seen, they're cool, they're battery operated, there's all these cool bells and whistles to them. but I love the lightness that this has. I like the tip that it has. You know, so it is at your discretion as far as how you use most of, you know, your tools. You want to make sure that they, although they're cool, they're right for you. So I got this one at Walmart, and it was like $14.99, super easy to clean up, and I love it. So let me know if you have a glue gun of your choice. But for me, that's it. Okay, and so here I'm faced with I don't want to touch it. So I always have quick on hand. These are little popsicle sticks, because inevitably I always burn myself. So I want to make sure that burning myself is not in the picture today. So go ahead and let it sit there for a few. You might want to go ahead and put some right on the top. It just all depends on how well you want it to stick down. And I just want to make sure, I'm looking at you guys because I'm doing it backwards. I want to make sure that it gets down into the project, and making sure that when I'm done with it and I can put my bow on it, those pieces aren't showing. So I'm going to move this down a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to wait for it to dry. This is one of those where, or to harden up. I don't want to make sure that this this goes anywhere other than right there. Okay, so now I'm looking at my bow. I want the smaller loops on the bottom, larger loops on the top. But that is beautiful. Okay, so how I'm going to do this, I'm going to just trim this a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to put this down because I want my anchor to be right there. And I'm going to actually put it on my project, the glue, so that it stays. And I'm going to put it a little bit up on the top. You can be generous with this. That is the first step. And then the second step is I want to make sure that this stays on here. This is E6000. It is a glue that once this once the hot glue sets up, this will be the permanent set for this glue, and it adheres to tons and tons of things. So I always, if I'm going to do a bow like this and I want it to stay forever, I first put the glue down there, let it start setting up, and then I'm going to put the E6000 on it. And then I'm going to just set it here for a second. And the E6000 is going to be the glue that stays the long term. The glue gun is what's just going to set it up just right now, so that it's almost like a temporary fix to be able to do this. If you were to have your glue gun the whole time, it may as well stay very well, but I just want to make sure that it is not going anywhere. That is one thing about my projects. If I'm going to make something, I don't want it to fall apart in, you know, in later on in life, and then how embarrassing. So I want to make sure that what I'm doing and how I get that there, it's going to stay for a long, long time. All right, so like I said, every project that I do, I always start from the bottom up. And let's just kind of go over what I did. There's some of you that just came on not too long ago, and I want to show you just a little bit about what the process was. So the first thing that we did is we took let's get it here. We took our Rust-Oleum, and this is stain, and I used black right here, and I used blue on the top. And then after that, we took a stencil and we took Troch Paste, and we put the Troch Paste on there. Then we took our embossing, or you can use a heat tool and heat it up, and to whatever your liking is. You could do this all black. You could do, you know, like I did right here, for time's sake, as just a little bit of variegated of the different colors. And then we just did a little bit of fluff here. I used, these are olive branches, and then I made my bow. So now, this is about ready to go on the front door, but the thing is that, how in the world would I put this on here? There's two different ways I was thinking of doing this. And number one is this is just a little hook that you can put on the back and hang it like that. Or the other way that I will probably end up doing, and I have to be able to see this on my front door, but I was thinking here is putting a piece of ribbon. I'll just cut it right now because I think I'm pretty well sure going to do that. And go ahead and just put two pieces together, or one piece together, right on the back of each other. And then you can go ahead and just turn it a little bit. And I would either take little finishing nails. You could use your glue gun, but that's not going to last for very much longer. But that's what I would do. And then go ahead, if you want to, put another piece of fabric on there. When you dual that, that helps it stay on there. So, you know, a couple finishing nails, and then gluing on a piece of fabric on there on the back. I think that would be perfect to be able to have the long haul. Around here we get wind and things like that, and so I want to make sure that it's going to actually stay on there. So anyways, that is a recap of our welcome sign. If you have any questions, feel free in the comments to ask away. I totally go back and make sure that what I say is true, and what I want to tell you gals is exactly what I end up. So there, every once in a while, I'll add a little comment, put a link to things that I have used in the past, and to be able to be as accurate as I can. So thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the week. Enjoy your weather wherever it is. If it's coming up snow, or I even saw Texas, it was like 70 degrees. So will you stay in the warmth for me, and wish you know, a little bit of warm weather to come our way. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. You are welcome to join me in my Jane Nicole Designs VIPs on Facebook. That's where I give you a little bit more tips and tricks, and a little bit more personal things about myself, and to be able to share my crafting journey with you. I am also on YouTube. I have some videos that I use for just how-tos and whatnot, Instagram, all that fun stuff. I do have an Etsy store, so if you are so inclined and you're thinking, I want this on my front door, go over and check out Etsy. I do have quite a bit of fun stuff for welcome signs as well. So thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care.